Hello beautiful people, today we're going to talk about how to quit your job when you love your boss. In this video I want to show you how to be able to leave your boss without any sense of betrayal and actually have it be the building point for a longer term friendship. If you're afraid of betraying your boss, I want to talk about how to make it a gift and an opportunity and not a betrayal, and what to say when you want to leave but don't want to hurt your boss. I also want to talk about how you don't owe loyalty forever. You can owe respect, you can owe commitment, and you can owe acknowledgement, but loyalty forever is not something you signed up for. By the end of this video, you will have learned a 3-part decision framework to know when it's time to go. And I want to introduce you to a 5-step conversation playbook as to how to quit without doing any damage. I want to help you know how to preserve and even strengthen your relationship with your boss and adopt a mindset where leaving is seen as leadership, not necessarily as any kind of betrayal. So I talk about common sense in some of my other videos, and the common sense here is I love my boss, I don't want to be disloyal to my boss. The new common sense is I fulfill my offers to my boss, I've helped them grow their career, it's now time for me to leave. I can continue my relationship with my boss. There's a big difference between those two because one is born out of debt to your boss. Now, if you have a great boss, they actually want you to be successful. So if that means that you're moving to somewhere else, you're moving to a different department or you're moving to a new job, they should be celebrating with you. If they really are a great boss, they're celebrating with you. Now, they'll be disappointed you're leaving and they look to make sure that you've wrapped up everything that you have set out to do when you're working with them, and that's perfectly fine and fair, but they should be celebrating with you. And if they aren't celebrating with you, they aren't that great a boss. And if you love them, you need to get more discerning around what is a great boss. So a boss should be celebrating with you while working out with you how to deliver on everything that you've committed to and making sure that's completed. They should be celebrating with you that you're moving on to something bigger and better. So the 3-part decision framework is, when it's time for you to leave, is to look and see whether or not your values are in alignment. And that's what I was talking about a moment ago, is if your boss is celebrating and happy that you're, not happy that you're leaving, but happy for you that you're leaving, then that means your values are in alignment. If you've learned some amazing things from your boss and you want to continue to further that work in the world, then you want to stay very much part of that network with your boss. And if they're the ones who are doing thought leadership in any particular area and you're going to expand and build on that thought leadership, you want to continue that relationship. So the second thing to make sure is that you look at how both of you are going to sustain and maintain the relationship going forward, because you have a lot of shared purpose. The third thing to look at is making a clear transition. You have commitments that you've made to your boss. You don't want to leave them high and dry. Make sure that you've built in time in your transition period to be able to complete commitments that you've made to your boss and that they don't feel like they've got left in the lurch. And also make sure that you're doing the same thing with your people. So one of the things that people tend to do when they're moving to a new job is they tend to jump, as opposed to they tend to gradually progress and transition from one job to another. Really encourage you to do an elegant transition rather than a jump. Believe me, I've done both and I've regretted the jumps. But the elegant transitions are not that hard to negotiate and they really are worth doing. You will build credibility and trust as you do that and be recognized and appreciated for doing it. When you're doing your graceful exit or your graceful transition, there are 5 things that you need to bear in mind. One is lead with gratitude. You've learned a lot from your boss. You've built a relationship with your boss. You've done some incredible things together. They've helped you build out your team. They've helped you expand your leadership capacity. Take a few minutes to think of what all of the things that they are. Don't do it on ad hoc over drinks. Make sure you've done a little bit of time thinking ahead and understand what it is that they've helped you, humbly understand what it is that they've done to help you in your growth, and thank them for it. The second thing is to frame the decision as an evolution. So by the time you get to this point where you're saying goodbye to a boss you love, and it's not goodbye, it's you're saying goodbye for now, is what you've already been through conversations with them to be able to identify whether or not they're able to give you the opportunity that you're seeking under their current purview. And if the answer is no, then you're both in agreement that it is time for you to move on to something else. As you do that transition, make sure that you both understand that it's an evolution. I know people who have worked for a boss they love, left, and come back again. And I myself have done that, because the people who you work really well with, they just continue to grow and evolve. And as you continue to grow and evolve, you will cycle back more than likely and end up working with them again in the future. The other thing that you want to do is you want to acknowledge the relationship. So acknowledge and say it out loud. This is a relationship that I value highly. This is a relationship that I would like to continue to grow and develop. Because I'm moving to another company does not mean that this relationship is over. And I want to make sure that you think the same. Now, chances are your boss will think the same if you love them and they love you. And you want to make sure that that is clear and explicit and on the table. Sometimes I've been very surprised by the impact that I've made in other people's lives, surprised in a wonderful and good way. And I never had any idea that I was actually doing that. I was just being me and leading. And people would come back when they were leaving and saying, you changed my life, you've made me into a leader. And I'm so grateful to hear those responses, and those are the people that I want to keep in my life ongoingly. Make the offer of a relationship and talk about how you're going to persist in maintaining that relationship. It's not just let's stay in touch, it's actually I'll see you at this conference. It's I'd love to meet you once a quarter for a mentoring conversation, or I'd love to run some of the new work that I'm doing by you, or I'm doing a thought leadership piece and writing a paper on this, I'd love you to do a foreword for me. Think about the ways that you can leverage the experience that you've had together and the knowledge that you've built together to be able to take care of each other and help each other grow your careers and your opportunities. So, thing to remember with this is leaving a job you love isn't, and a boss you love, isn't just leaving a job. It's actually creating an opportunity for you to be able to move into something new that ideally will also enhance your boss's understanding of work, of competition, of service, of whatever it is. If you stay in touch with them and you stay in conversation with them, you're going to be bringing new perspective, new interpretations, and new ideas. And this will enhance and add value for them. And you may end up introducing them to your new company somewhere down the road. As you make these leaves, make sure that you also acknowledge that they are transitions and they are opportunities for growth. Any good boss, all they want for you is to be happy and to be successful. They want to be taken care of in the process, but they want for you to be happy and successful, and never forget that. That's what makes a truly great boss. If you're ready to do this, I recommend that you do the Get Promoted assessment. And the reason why I recommend that is because leaving to go to another job, part of it is actually a promotion. Make sure that you're ready for it in the same time as you're making sure that you're maintaining and building this relationship with your past boss. Go do the promotion readiness assessment. It's down in the link in the comments. It's also getpromotedassessment.com. Let me know how it worked for you. Give me some feedback down in the comments as to whether or not this was helpful for you. And I wish you the best of luck. This is a very important decision.